Hello, vinyl peoples. Are you ready for a showdown?
That's me playing the drums.
Well,
Air
you
drums.
gave it away. That's
Ow.
our top 5 ranking of 70s drummers.
There were some good ones in the 70s, folks.
Oh, this might tear some of you apart.
or at least disrupt our relationship a little bit. I'm a drummer, and the older I get, the more I appreciate how much drummers bring into the fold in a band. And it's not just because I'm a drummer.
Yes, it is.
But it's in our business, in our TV business, there's a lot of drummers, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it. There are a lot of drummers.
What else are they going to do? Something that takes brains?
It's weird.
Anyway, the 70s were full of great drummers.
Great drummers.
And you know we're going to leave some out.
Yes.
And you know we're going to piss some people off with the order that we put them in.
Yes.
But we want you guys to do a few things to help us out with this whole process. What do we want them to do?
Like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Yes, and the subscribe thing's down there. And then below that, there's also the fourth wall link that you can go to and become a closer part of our community. Get cool merch, and exclusive behind-the-scenes stuff. So, number 5 on our top drummers of the 70s. I labored with this. We talked about it. I think this guy is so known for being a frontman that people forget how great of a drummer he is.
Yeah.
And being a drummer, my drum instructor when I was in high school was a huge Phil Collins guy. And
so there you have it.
there you have
It's
it.
Phil Collins.
I kind of ruined it before. Can you grab the Vinyl Ventures record? So this is Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, I believe 1976, double album. Phil Collins, left-handed drummer, first of all, became, when Peter Gabriel left the band, Phil became the lead singer, and then they would bring different guys to cover the live shows. But the funny thing about Phil becoming the singer is his voice is so similar to Peter's.
They really are very close.
A lot of people didn't realize
There's a new singer.
Yeah, but Phil Collins, if you haven't checked out like stuff from the 70s, I think he was also in a band called Brand X, which was kind of like a super group of like prog rock guys. But not only is Phil a great drummer, but he can play almost any instrument. And he was also in A Hard Day's Night, right?
Yes. If you missed the short,
go back and revisit the short. So number 5 of our 70s best drummers, Mr. Phil Collins. Okay.
So number 2.
Where do you go from there?
Number 2. Number 4.
Number 4. Charles Watts Esquire the Fifth. That's not his real name. Charlie Watts.
Sounds good.
Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones. Maybe not the most technically proficient. Has a very strange style of drumming, but you can recognize the Stones with Charlie's playing.
Oh yeah.
And he always had the suit and the tie and always buttoned up, and kind of, to me, always felt like not the parent of the group, but
he was older than the rest of the
he was
guys.
older than them, yes, and R.I.P. Charlie, but he just kind of always felt like the dude that was holding everything together.
Well, he was the drummer.
Yeah,
that's part of the task.
Yeah, and so for that reason, and as many albums as the Stones put out over their illustrious 3-year career, Charlie belongs on this list. Steve Jordan has taken over for Charlie and the Stones, and man, he's a great drummer. He's a great producer. But now we're down to 2 original Stones in the band, and that kind of goes back to that point about we live in a time where we can still see these artists perform the music that set the world on fire and ignited their careers And we're really lucky to be here at this point in this time.
Yeah, and I love, it's not on this, but Get Your Yeah Yeah Yeahs Out. Charlie is kind of the wacky guy with the donkey.
He's got
It's
a
like-
donkey and like a bass drum. And
Yeah, it's like, why Charlie doing that?
yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe they were going against character.
Yeah.
Since he was maybe the least wacky, they were trying to point him out as the most wacky. But number 4, Charles Watts. Number 3.
Three.
Number 3.
I'm losing track.
It's hard to count the 5
Yeah.
wheels. Keith Moon.
Keith Moon.
Another drummer that, The Who has always been great. There's always good stuff on their albums. But Keith Moon was not just a great drummer. He was a character, a very sometimes dangerous character.
Oh, yeah.
Loved his parties. I haven't read a lot about Keith and why he was the way he was. That would be something interesting to get into.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the results, the way that the songs sounded with him behind the kit, and then when you look at like all those 60s videos of them playing live, and he's just back there with the double bass going nuts. Keith Moon is an integral part of The Who. And they are now doing their second farewell tour. Their first was in 1982. And speaking of The Who and drummers, they just shit-canned Ringo Starr's son, Zach Starkey. They kicked him out of the band. He's been their drummer for like 20, 25 years. So I don't know what's going on there. But, Anyway, Keith Moon absolutely deserves to be on the 70s drummers list. He died way too early, but that's kind of a through point for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of these groups we talk about,
yeah,
there's going to be death.
Yeah, so Keith Moon, number 3. Now, number 2, and we kind of went back and forth with number 2 and 3, but Neil Peart, also, we just lost him a few years ago. He wasn't Rush's original drummer. It was a guy named John Rutsey that was their original drummer. He only played on that first album, and then Neil came in, and everything with the band changed.
Yeah.
That first Rush album is great. It's like them trying to be Led Zeppelin. But Neil not only brought a power and a technical prowess that most people had never seen behind a drum kit before. He also became their lyricist and wrote all the lyrics from Fly By Night through Clockwork Angels. So,
and I know you would probably put Neil as number 1. He's like a drummers love Neil.
Yes, they do. And, it's funny because it's also kind of a through point for people in marching band or in bands in high school and middle school. It's like you have certain guys that people are looking up to and trying to learn from. And of course, my drum instructor also loved Neil. But the difference between Neil and our number 1, they're both powerful. They're both integral parts of the bands that they play in, but they couldn't be more different feel-wise. It's such a bummer that Neil's not around anymore, and he was kind of a hermit, and you didn't hear a lot from him outside of the recordings. The other 2 guys in the band always did the press and stuff, but Neil is absolutely deserving of being on this list, if not just for his drumming, also for his mustache and kimono game. Am I right?
Pretty spectacular.
So Neil Peart, number 2 on our list of 70s drummers, which brings us
to number 1. And if you can't guess right now, you may not listen to music.
I brought Physical Graffiti because it is a ride. It is a double album, a lot of different parts put together. But Led Zeppelin said when John Bonham died in 1980, they were done. this band always said that if somebody wasn't around anymore, that they would be no longer.
That was it.
They have played some reunion shows. They played Live Aid when that happened. They played Atlantic's 40th anniversary, I think. Then they did Ahmet Ertegun. I think their last time together, whatever it was, 2007 or 3 or whenever it was for Ahmet Ertegun's thing, and that became
Celebration Day.
Celebration Day.
Yeah.
With John Bonham's son, Jason. And man, he's great too. I've seen his band. I've seen his band like 3 times. But there is no denying that one of the most infamous and famous drummers of bands from any time, but especially the 70s, John
Bonham.
And their music is what it is because of what he brought to the records. And
and I think without a doubt, Bonham is number one. Fight us on it.
Yeah. So we want you guys to share with us your favorite 70s drummers. Put them in order for us. Tell us what we got right. Tell us what we got wrong. What else do we want people to tell us when they tell us stuff?
Do like, subscribe, and comment.
And share. And go to that Fourth Wall link and enjoy everything that we have here on the Vinyl Ventures page and at Fourth Wall, because a lot of work goes into this. We want to thank Keith Toombs, Jacob Hansen for helping us out with it. Wait a minute. No, that is John.
I'm John.
I'm Jay, and we'll see you all the next time around.